A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel. Now this is like the part 2 of the video that I shared on the other channel, which is sort of that video is focused more on the polarized divine masculine. Now this one is more focused on the healing of polarized divine feminine, because we speak about the walk-in twin flame entering the life of divine feminine. Now, what I have noticed in the past few months actually is that a lot of people actually completely, not just bits and pieces or not like a little bit of percentage, but some people actually think that divine union equals to a romantic setup or a romantic relationship. And still they think that they are doing inner work. So the inner work doesn't work at all. Sometimes 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years pass by obsessing over the single person who probably doesn't want to be around this energy, which is so focused on it. So usually what happens is that when people fall in love, they fall literally. They don't rise, they fall in love. When they fall in love, they are so glued or they're so obsessed with that person that they put all of their, like they concentrate all of their energy on that one particular person. But why do they do this? Like there has to be a reason behind it, like there has to be a scientific or a spiritual reason behind it. Like why would any person who wants to do inner work, who wants to better themselves, who wants to also think that they are special in some way and that God has sent them on planet Earth to do something better and bigger for other people. And why does it happen in such a way that they forget all of this? They forget all of this. They forget all their hobbies. They forget all their routine chores also. They don't exercise. They don't eat well. And when the dark night of the soul hits them, it's literally like going nowhere for such a long time, with the same emotions and feelings. Let me also tell you that the walk-in twin flame is actually a reward. It's a reward for all of the people who have been doing active inner work, and they have also gone through a situation where they were in a twin flame sort of which people call as twin flame relationship. Actually, there isn't any such thing as a twin flame relationship externally. The person that is outside of you is actually the mirror, and you are the person who has the potential twin flame energy. I think my channel, and I would like to say it with all authority, that I get from my inner work and the downloads that are given to me by masters and spirit guides. Maybe for some people this may be woo-woo, but I don't care about those people anymore, because I really wasted a long time bothering about those people who think that spiritual concepts are woo-woo. And there are also so many fake teachers and healers and pretenders who pretend to be God-men, and a lot of people cannot recognize them. See, the problem is with those people who cannot recognize a fake healer, a fake teacher, because they actually go after the whole outside external image. So just like a person can fake being a true lover, or at least they think in their heads, they're so narcissistic that they like to believe in their heads that they are the best, most genuine lover and literally God's gift to humanity, mankind, and the partner. But in reality, they could be a big time narcissistic, pain in the ass sort of a person. And same are these toxic healers or teachers or information providers. Sometimes I would like to call them information providers also, because they are providing the wrong information since so many years, and they have so many followers. It's not a surprise, to be honest, when you see too many people following the wrong concepts, and then when they come to me for healing or they come to me for therapy, they're so broken and they're so shattered because they probably were a part of some cult or some kind of a group that was focused on egocentric concepts and not any spiritual concepts of surrender. So here also I would like to say that all these fake people, fake lovers, fake teachers, fake adults, like who pretend to be your well-wishers. All of them are literally the same, because from the outside they pretend to be something else, and people don't catch that, because people are like that, people always want the sweet words, people always want the sugar coated stuff. They don't like to take the bitter pill sometimes, they don't like to take the medicine sometimes, because they feel it's not good. Like, for example, we all know, most people know that sugar is not good for our health. In fact, it's a slow poison. Most people don't know that sugar is the main reason that we age so fast. Now, I can say this from my personal experience also, because a lot of people ask me, what do you do about your skin? Even on the Twin Flame videos, I have seen people asking me, what do you do for your skin? And I also had to, once upon a time, like few years back, I was literally thinking, like, what am I really doing? So I realized that when I was a kid, I had some kind of a problem. I used to be like very uncomfortable drinking cola drinks. Any kind of cola drink, like soda. In India, we had Coke and Thumbs Up and Fanta and Mirinda. I think these are available outside also. I could not even drink tea. The only option I was left with was milk or maybe coffee sometimes. But when we were so young, we obviously didn't have access to coffee. When I grew up, I realized that I have been living my whole childhood on natural drinks. Then I went to college, and when you go to college, sometimes you meet bad company. Maybe, we call it bad company, but eventually when you learn, when you get out of it, then you realize that actually it was a good thing, because you sort of, you can differentiate between what's healthy and what's unhealthy for your soul. So when I started hanging out with those people to fit in, I had to do a lot of things. Like, they would literally ask me, don't you have a boyfriend? Don't you go to parties? Don't you go clubbing? Don't you drink? Don't you smoke? Don't you do this? Don't you do that? So it was like a lot of pressure to actually fit in with so many people, and all of them looked the same. Like, wherever I went, if I went to work, I would meet similar expectations. Then I would go to my hostel or my college, similar things, And I knew people who had been drinking, smoking, going out in sexual relationships since they were 12, maybe 11, 13 years old. So this is no judgment to anybody, because look, we are not here to judge others, and I have a lot of compassion for those people also, because I know a lot of them even now, and they are still living same type of life. They have no concept of spiritual ascension or spiritual growth or finding true love or becoming the lovers of truth. They are still in very materialistic relationships, trying to somehow get them to work. Most of them are very much attached to money, and I think just to earn money they are doing, or to make money or to be rich, they are doing all sorts of things, which I don't want to mention over here right now, because that would be like too long and a kind of deviation. So back then, my eating habits became very unhealthy for say about 2-3 years, because I had to experiment just to fit in, just to be likable, just to be, a person who they want to hang out with, someone who's cooler or cool. We don't think that we were already cool. Like, I remember I used to go to meet my master, and every Sunday morning I used to go for the satsang, and I used to listen to bhajans, and I used to really enjoy the music. The music was so beautiful, with all the tabla and the flute and the sitar and the harmonium. It really used to touch me and my soul in many therapeutic ways. But my friends used to find it really weird, like, oh, she's so religious, or they didn't even know what's religious and spiritual. And these people are not literally friends. These were the people who I was around. And looking back, I could say that they were all my acquaintances, or they were the part of the little bubble kind of a world that I was in. And so there were so many, there were so many. Like, you go to your class in college, you have about 60, 70 students. The whole college had a lot of girls, like there were so many people. So we would see each other somewhere, like we would keep bumping into each other, maybe at the mall, maybe at this, maybe at that. And I think I'm trying to talk about this today because I want to address all those people who are looking for genuine love or healthy relationships, So you need to understand where it all begins from. So coming back to the cola thing, I had stopped drinking tea, cola, cold drinks, anything which was aerated form naturally. Like no one asked me to do it. It's just that every time I would drink something like that, I would feel like vomiting and I would get a headache and I would feel some pain, some throbbing near my third eye. I didn't even know what third eye was. All I knew that, when you meditate, you focus on this area. But I did not know it so deeply. I had not researched so well. I knew that this is your Trinetra area. At that time, we didn't say words like third eye. Our master used to say, just focus where you put the bindi on. Focus on that part of your forehead. So we used to do that. Like, I'm talking about myself. I used to do that. And of course, other children were there too. So once I started feeling this throbbing pain, I quit it. I quit without realizing it. And then when I went to college, I got back into it. And the cold drinks, they were probably mixed in the drink. So I was finding it very difficult to cope up with it because I would not feel so good about it. And I still used to, just to fit in, just to be likable, I still remember I had to do it. But later on, there came a point where I realized that I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm done with it. So, soon the other people found out that I don't drink colas, and I'm not talking about the whole world, but the people around. So, sugar. Now, this is coming from experience, okay? This is coming from full-on experience that I could sense that there was something in those drinks which was not good for me. And I quit. But all the other people around me, they continued. And we all looked the same. We all grew up similarly, like, in the same style. But when I meet them now, all of them look at least 20 years more aged. Like, it's difficult to believe the version of them. Like, I used to hang out with them. I used to see them. Even people who I used to meet 10 years back, when I meet them now, they have become unrecognizable in such a short span of time because they have not been healthy. They've been drinking a lot or, like smoking a lot maybe. And when I say a lot, I'm not going to judge people for having a drink or two or having a smoke or two. I'm talking about people who probably drink every day and maybe weekends is the time that they need to get sloshed. And they smoke cigarettes like every 15 minutes, half an hour, maybe a pack in a day or half a pack in a day, something like that. Everybody has certain type of habits, and even in the spiritual world, we know of masters who would smoke a cigar somewhere, but they would not do it. Like if you ever study about Nisargadatta Maharaj, he used to work in a beedi factory. Please Google beedi if you don't know what beedi is. So he used to work over there. And he had that habit of smoking beedi, like, for a long time, okay? And when someone asked him, he said that, first of all, I work in a factory, which is a beedi factory. So there's no way I can avoid the smoke or I can avoid this. So it's probably a part of my ecosystem. Secondly, it wasn't that he was doing it all the time. He wasn't addicted to it. Addiction can be controlled when you look at the amount or the time you do it. Or you need to check that is it true that you cannot exist without it. Like if you don't get it, for example, you work the whole day, okay? You work from morning till night. You enjoy your work. You love your work. You eat healthy. But you take a break, like maybe once in a week, you have a drink, a glass of wine or something. Maybe, I think week is too much. Maybe say once in 15 days you have a glass or two of wine. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm nobody to put a number to it. Nobody can actually put a number to these things, like how much is healthy and how much is not healthy, other than your own self. You yourself know if you are addicted to something or not. If you can't do without something, if you can't live without doing something, it means you are addicted, because there are 100 other things that you can do, and we're all here to experience so many other things. So this is one thing that people need to figure out, and all of this is actually connected to attracting healthy relationships. You might be thinking, oh, come on, drinking cola doesn't mean that I'm going to attract an unhealthy relationship. That's not the point, guys. That's not exactly what I'm trying to say. I'm not pinpointing at a food item. I'm not saying that if you eat this or if you drink this or if you smoke this, you'll be in an unhealthy relationship. What I'm trying to say is that the first relationship that we have is with ourselves. How we treat our body, how we treat our soul, how we treat our own precious time, how we treat those who matter to us around us, and I'm talking about soul connections, has a lot of impact on the relationships. If you treat yourself in unhealthy, toxic ways, if you treat yourself like a doormat, like your own self, like a doormat, if you give breadcrumbs to your own self, and if you keep running away from your actual work on planet Earth, which is inner work and volunteering, then you will meet people who will keep running away from you, or they will throw breadcrumbs at you, or they will treat you in such a way that you yourself will not like and you'll feel devalued again and again. So here when I speak about the twin flame walk-in situation, I'm not giving another bait to people. I want to clarify this because I see many people doing this. They give baits to people like, if you do this, you'll get into a twin flame union or you will get a lovely twin flame partner. So twin flame union is an inner thing. Twin flame union will always happen inside of you first. Your Ida and Pingala Nadi. There are two very important nadis in your body, and we don't have just a physical body, we also have an energy body. To function, 72,000 nadis are required, and 72,000 nadis get energy from the solar and the lunar, Ida and Pingala Nadi. They get the energy from that. Okay, and this energy passes through your chakra system, through the Sushumna, and that's how it goes everywhere. Now, I'm not going to again go deep into that. It's a very deep subject because we don't have just 7 chakras, by the way. We have more than 100 chakras. But that's a very deep, next level kind of a metaphysical course actually. So we'll come to that some other time. Or you can just request if you want to hear more on this subject, and I'll definitely try to do whatever best I can in the stipulated time I get to make these videos. So now as for the channeling, the message in the channeling is very clear that the person who's going to do the most real inner work, and this is for authentic people, like this is not for people who stop being themselves just because somebody thinks that they don't fit into their criteria of spiritual or authentic or real. And that's why I spoke about the fake teachers, healers, godmen, godwomen, cult runners, and the fake lovers and the fake adults or the fake well-wishers also, because they all have in the spiritual world. I'm not talking about all the time only about materialistic reality, because we have already shifted from that if you are those people who are inactive in our work. So you need to recognize. If you cannot recognize and if you cannot bifurcate fake love and fake behavior and fake voices and fake tonality and fake clothing, it's going to be very difficult for you to figure out if you are in a false twin relationship or a real twin relationship, because the false twin relationship and the actual twin relationship looks very similar. It always has the runner-chaser dynamic. It also has all the triggers, and it may go long-term also, and you'll always be confused, like, should I leave this relationship? Should I continue with this relationship? And sometimes in a false twin relationship, you end up spending a whole lot of time. A lot of time is going to get wasted into it. If you're lucky, you'll get out of it soon. If you're not, again, there is no such thing as lucky or unlucky, because if you're actually supposed to go through this situation, then in perfect divine timing, you'll get to know. Maybe you've come across this video, you attracted this video, or you resonated with this type of content. You could be going through these type of questions about food, about health, about exercise, about the content that you give to your mind, about taming your mind, and you see a result of all of this in your reality. You have better friends, you have forgiven a lot of people in your family who did wrong to you. And it's not just you just say these things, because it's practice that is required, and practice makes a man perfect. And in order to practice, you need to be thrown into so many situations just to see where you have reached. The universe will keep taking care of you and keep making you experience so many situations that you didn't even know existed inside your subconscious reality. Because as I had said earlier also, that your life, 95% of your life, your three-dimensional reality, actually depends on your subconscious mind. Conscious mind runs only 5% of it. So you see, such a huge percentage. So if you are in this sort of a relationship which is so toxic and negative, and it makes you feel like a beggar, and you feel compared constantly, you feel that you're not the favorite one. In reality, it should not even bother you, like if you're favorite or not, because you won't have time for all of that. You'll be your own favorite, you'll be your own best friend, you'll be your own lover, you'll be your own mother, father, so many things, caretaker. So you won't really care about being someone's favorite or not, because you're your own favorite. And if, say, for some time, you feel this, it hurts you, that you're not the priority for some person, then again, you're going to look deeper within and think that, maybe I'm not doing the right type of inner work. I'm not healing myself in the right way. That's why I'm seeing this. So you're going to use it like stimulus to help yourself become better. So, and this is something which is happening like in so many places. I've seen it work. So you basically are in a twin flame relationship according to you, and you put in all of it, all of yourself into it. Like you do everything, like from giving that person public affection, getting humiliated by them at the same time, going through some kind of embarrassment. People who have a lot of problem showing you around or flaunting you. Sometimes, it may not be really that they want to keep it personal, but it could be that they have some secrets in their locker, in their closet, and they don't want those secrets to be revealed, so they have some dark hidden truths, and they want to do some things easily. Like, somebody could be in a relationship, could be married to someone else, and they could be dating you, and they may not have spoken about it to you, and they may have acted like they were single all this while. And then when you find out, they would say, oh, my partner is crazy, my partner is a psycho, and I any which way don't like that person. I don't even sleep with that person anymore. It's been years, and I'm really so miserable, I'm suffering, I don't know what to do. Please don't leave me. You're everything I have. You're my happy place. You're my wonderful place in life. You're the only one who understands me, and this and that. And you would be giving them everything, your money, your time, your body, your heart, your soul, and they could be just taking so much from you. Like they could be using all the correct spiritual statements, the right words, all the messages, they could be knowingly doing those things. They may have checked you out, they may have stalked you, actively, and they may have thought that, okay, this person would like to hear this. If I say these statements, they will be so happy, they'll give me. And they could be actually looking for something from you maybe. So they have all those skeletons inside their closet, and they don't want to get to a point where they lose out on the benefits from you. So they say these things, they lie to you, they make all these fraud commitments to you, and you keep sympathizing with them, and they keep asking time. Always remember that, if somebody says, give me 3 months or give me 6 months, and they do it like twice or thrice and they don't change, it can be very frustrating. But if they have been doing it, if they're habitual of doing it, because giving someone 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year from your precious time is not a joke. And after the time has passed, they will come up to you with another excuse, like a new excuse or a new offer or a new commitment which will never get fulfilled. So these are all strong traits of false twin, and you need to get out of that sort of a situation ASAP. And then you need to, when you get out of it, you need to look back and reflect upon it and think, like, why was I in this situation for so long? And then you need to devote at least 2 years minimum to yourself. Minimum, I'm saying. And then you will start seeing when you dedicate your time, and during that time, you might keep getting some offers, or the same person would keep coming back to you. Because false twins also keep coming back, like, how it happens with real twin. So when they keep coming back to you, don't accept them on the face value. Don't accept them there and then. Forgive them, forgive anyone actually. And when they come back, you still remain independent and confident. You don't just become codependent again. If you're going to keep going back to who you were, and this happens in therapy many times, students come to me and they become so amazing and they become so attractive and kick-ass that this person comes back and they tell me, oh my God, this person called me. How's this possible? This person messaged me. What should I do? So I have noticed some of them, literally fall back into the deep dark tunnel again. And then after a few months, they are like, oh, it happened again. They ran away again. And I was like, well, they had to run away because you became the same chaser. So some of those who listened to me, and I told them that be friendly, but not a friend right now. Be nice, but have your boundaries. Okay? Don't become a carpet. Don't roll open like a carpet again. Remember what they did to you. Remember why they ran away. Even if, say, they did not do anything wrong to you, according to you, it was a misunderstanding created by other people and they were innocent. Still, how were they so dumb? This is not innocence. How were they so dumb that they could not decide on themselves by themselves? They needed other people's opinion, and the other people's opinion was so strong that they actually decide to leave you and go away. And now after 7 months, 8 months or a year, they come back again and they say, sorry, I made a mistake. So ask them, like, how do I believe you? How do I know that you have changed? Maybe it's because you have nothing to fall back on. Maybe you got no money, you got nobody person. Maybe your family doesn't care. Again, they've become the same with you, how you were. So don't think runners' life is perfect. Runners usually have this problem of escaping. So in order to escape from painful areas, they usually run to some greener, better spots, only to find out that those green pastures were really not green pastures. It was a mirage and they're just barren lands. So when they come back, they'll be like, I'm sorry, this and that. But they could be coming back because they just want to get some energy, they want to get energized and then fall back into the same pattern, just like you are falling back. So in order to help them also, in order to inspire them also, you need to create boundaries and you need to take care of yourself. And when you actually keep doing it consistently, when you are very consistent with your inner work, extremely careful, very smart, know how to have fun, there's a balance of discipline and fun, and you're willing to put in work in yourself. You're not a narcissist who thinks that now I'm perfect, there's nothing left to do, there's no more work to be done. And that's when universe tries to teach you a lesson. So when you're literally humble and at the same time you are confident, you are a person who is very skilled, but at the same time you don't mind taking help. The thin line in between is very much visible to you. So when you reach that point of balance and you're sort of understanding, what is good and what is bad, and then how good and bad comes together in singularity in the singular world, in one love, how it all works out and how it creates peace in your life, when you start figuring it out. Because see, I have to be honest with all of my people here, all of the community here, this takes time. It has taken time for me also. I've been working on this for many years. Okay, and I realized when I could actually start feeling a major shift, I could see that yes, all of the time that I put into certain things is now finally showing up. But when it wasn't showing up, that's the time you need to have the faith. That's the time you need to keep going. That's the time you need to say to yourself that don't stop, it will work, it will work. And again, this is not some blind superstition that you're into. That's why you need to study it like a scientific concept and a spiritual concept, and not purely as a romantic concept. Because if you're going to study it like a, romantic concept and look at it as a ticket to, just fuck around with people, literally and also symbolically speaking, then, it is going to affect your life only. See, because we can blame other people to a certain point of what they do to us, but in reality, all responsibility actually falls on our shoulders. We have to be responsible for everything that happens in our life. And sometimes it may be like, why am I getting blamed for this? You're getting blamed for this because you're blaming others. So when you drop the blame game, then you can see it like something constructive that you can use, you can utilize. And something doesn't work in your life, you don't have to point fingers at 100 other people. That will only waste your own precious and beautiful time. So the walk-in is, I think it's sort of a channeling which gives me like 100%. Yes, there is a walk-in, and it would be a beautiful person. It would be like a person who complements your energy. You don't have to think 100 times or 2 times or 3 times before saying a statement, fearing that it could offend them. You become so bold by then that you're like, I don't care. I don't care about who thinks what about me. I'm still going to be myself. I'm going to be my own person. I'm going to be committed, and I'm going to remove all those people who just waste my time, and, let them go with love. Let them just go, forgive them, let them go, and, forget about the whole thing and bless their soul, like maybe they also should, get the experience of prosperity and growth someday. It would be a little difficult for you to actually imagine a person who has tortured you, harassed you, shamed you, embarrassed you, treated you like a piece of meat, maybe used you, to be happy, like you forgive them. But then when you move on from these type of negative emotions, you actually save yourself. You save yourself, because if you are going to listen to all of these negative talks, and you're going to, like talk about the negative people, the bad people, like they did this to me, they did that to me, they were horrible, you're actually sort of stuck in the past. And in Hindi, we call it bhutkal. Past tense, past is called bhutkal, and bhut means ghost. Okay, so bhutkal means the time of ghost, or you can actually, I'm trying to translate it, but you can actually understand it like bhut or ghost means someone who's dead. It's a dead soul. It's like a ghoul soul. It's like a soul which has no purpose and meaning. So when we get so negative, we actually become like those people. It's not like we are venting out. Sometimes you could be venting out, sometimes you want to cry out. But if it is your constant habit, to talk about people who hurt you, harmed you, constantly discuss that how negative they are, how horrible, pathetic. Like, I'm not talking about, as I said, processing it. I'm not talking about therapy. I'm not talking about inner work. As I said, there's a thin line in everything. Even there is a thin line, how much you discuss about these things. It's just that when you discuss and when you emote and when you feel what they did to you all the time, constantly, you actually become just another version of them. And then you're going to hurt other people who have got nothing to do with it. You will bleed on those people who are actually very loving and compassionate to you, and that will make you guilty. The guilt that comes from hurting innocent people is a really horrible feeling, So I think in that case also you need to quickly realize it. You need to ask for forgiveness. You need to say, I'm sorry that I'm hurting people who love me. I'm hurting people who have done so much for me or who forgive me instantly. Like, I've noticed this with my pets. Sometimes I'm working with people who are very negative. And I have realized it that, constantly talking to them and constantly listening to them, constantly trying to convince them, don't be negative, don't be negative. Sometimes they overpower you and you become so negative. In fact, I have noticed people who don't want to change, they'll always interrupt you. They will never let you complete your statements, especially if those statements are about positive shift and positive energy and letting go and forgiveness. They will get very triggered. They might respect you, they might love you, but they don't want to listen to you, so they'll keep cutting you short. And they'll keep saying, how much pain I have, what this person did to me, you're asking me to forgive that person. You have no idea what this person did to me. You don't know what I've gone through. Of course, I know I've been in your place. I've been in probably worse situations. I'm not trying to compare, but maybe you've also been in worse situations. But what's the point of holding it on in your energy body? Why do you want to keep it to yourself? And I have noticed that after talking to them, it happened like twice or thrice, and then I've realized that I need to change this. So few years back, I was helping someone within my known circle. So it was not like I was professionally helping them. And when sometimes, you get something for free, you don't value it so much. So because I was not charging any money or not taking any fee, and I was always there for this person would constantly, keep speaking about how angry they are, and they would say some really mean things, which you don't want to listen, you don't want to hear. And I would keep telling this person, like, drop it off, let it go. But after I would keep the phone down, or after I would, get out of the meeting, the conversation, I would be so frustrated that I would shout at my pets, who would actually come to lick my face, or they want to hug me, and I would say, go away, I don't want to be near you, okay, just leave me alone. And they would make this sad face. And one day, that, because this happened like 2-3 times, and I think 2-3 times was more than enough for me to figure out. So after half an hour or so, the same pet that I had scolded, like, I told my pet that, go away, play with whatever you have, I don't want to be hugged right now, and leave me alone. So I started doing my work, and I was acting very busy. After half an hour, when I turned around, I saw them sitting at the same spot, looking at me, still staring at me. It made me cry, actually. And I felt like, what? Because of this other person's negativity, because I'm trying to work with them, I'm trying to help them out, and they don't value it. Look at what I'm doing. I am ignoring my lovely family members, because they are my family members. They have helped me so much in my life. I don't think anyone has loved me the way my animal companions and my animal friends have helped me. And by helping a person like me, they're actually helping thousands of people, unknowingly or knowingly. I don't know if maybe that was the plan. So we don't need to bleed on people who have nothing to do with our wounds, okay, or other people's wounds for that matter. So negativity needs companionship, it needs company, misery needs company, and we need to check on that, okay. So this twin flame walking situation will start showing its in your reality. But again, don't take it as a bait, because everybody has a different way of doing things. There are so many people who got married couple of times or once, so they are not looking for a marriage. But those who still haven't gotten married, they are single, they are so desperate for the marriage, and they say, to me, that marriage equals to divine union. And I'd like to check you right here that no, marriage has got nothing to do with your union. And I'm talking about the 3-dimensional marriage, okay? The true marriage actually happens within you, the marriage of lunar and solar energies, the sun and moon energies, the Ida and the Pingala Nadi, the energy that come from there. That is the true marriage, okay? And when that happens, you are so elevated, you are so high up, you don't really look at worldly concepts or rituals as to be the complete truth. But if you have a responsibility, like say you're married to someone and you're on a spiritual ascension journey, and you resonate a lot with the twin flame spiritual ascension journey, you're not going to be irresponsible about your current marriage. You're not going to be like taking it as a ticket of extramarital affairs, You're not going to be using it as a pass to have a good time with other people, You're not going to bleed upon those who have got nothing to do with it. So you're going to be responsible towards your children, especially if you have children. you're gonna remember that they also need what you did not get. If you did not get the best father or the best mother, why would you put them through the same thing? If you're complaining constantly about being in narcissistic family relationships, then what are you doing for them by being so selfish? So you need to get into counseling, you need to get into healing. If your relationship doesn't work out, you first need to try to work it out. If you think it's not working out and in between you meet some attractive person, don't use twin flame as a ticket, for having extramarital affairs. So that's the wrong thing you would be doing. And if still you're into that situation, you need to figure out why you are doing this to yourself and to other people around you. Now, I'm going to elaborate on this channeling also, because this also came to me as a separate channeling. I'm going to elaborate more on it and dedicate more airtime to this. But for now, I'm going to sign out from this particular video. And for your personal situations, you can write to me at thesunamoon@gmail.com. If you're looking for non-pleasing, very realistic and solution-oriented hand-holding, then please go through the description box and look at the therapies and the readings. I have slashed down the price, but I have updated it only in few videos because there's so many videos. Sometimes it takes a huge amount of time. So before I do that, I'm just letting you know that only check out the latest videos, not the old ones, for the new prices. And if you're an old student, you can also ask for a discount, and I'll try to see what's the best I can do. And kindly do not share your twin flame journey in advance. Now, this disclaimer is obviously for the newbies who turn up. The old people, I think they already know, the old students, the people who are already in ascension since a while now. So thank you so much for being here with me. One love and peace out, and keep working so that you attract the right mirror in your life and not a broken mirror or a false mirror. I'll see you soon in another one. One love and peace out.